Conference play off and running in Missouri Valley Conference. Here for the Rawlings MVC Baseball First Pitch. My name is Derek Dackett, and as always, joined by our Valley baseball analyst, former Valley Pitcher of the Year, Shane Dennis. Shane, conference play up and going, and you saw Wichita State, Missouri State this weekend, and I'm not sure anyone would have predicted that outcome of the Shockers taking 2 of 3 from the Bears.
No, not when the Bears came in with one of the most prolific offenses, not only in the Valley but in the nation. And Wichita State's kind of makeshift pitching staff held them to 9 runs and took 2 games from them. One of them, they run ruled. And I guess it just goes to show you that you never know, but Wichita State had a tremendous start from Cody Tyler in replacing the injured Willie Schwanke, got them off on the right foot on opening day, and then, of course, on the doubleheader day, the Saturday of the final 2 games of the series crammed in one day. Missouri State got a little bit of a measure of revenge, but Wichita State got to that Missouri State bullpen in just the right way and got out quick in the final game of the series, getting 5 runs in the very first inning. And really, Missouri State had to be leaving Wichita scratching its head, because now they have totally come back to the pack. The preseason favorite, Missouri State, has to go back home and try to regroup and try to claw their way back up through the standings. It's still plenty early, but kind of a head shaker, and Wichita State responded very well on the other hand.
Yeah, you said the word head shaker. I saw a tweet from Kendall Rogers over the weekend looking at the Valley State, and he's kind of like, intriguing race that the Valley has going on right now, because things have shifted a little bit. And as we now shift to looking forward to the next weekend of conference play, let's look at Indiana State and Dallas Baptist. Patriots are going to go in there in that matchup with the pitcher and the player of the week in the Valley this week.
Yeah, and it seems like that's a weekly occurrence for Dallas Baptist. They've either got a national player of the week, and Derek Hall has done that with some unbelievable two-way prowess for them. Colin Poche is their transfer pitcher from the University of Arkansas. It's his first year eligible. He's got a sub-2 ERA. He is now the in-question ace of that club. And David Martinelli, who is one of the most recognizable names coming back along with Camden Duznak, he and Derek Hall have a very unique 1-2 punch offensively. You and I gave a lot of run to Berger and Johnson, the 1-2 punch offensively from Missouri State, and rightfully so. But Derek Hall and David Martinelli have combined for 19 home runs. So you've got plenty to work with there offensively for Dallas Baptist. And then, of course, Poche and Derek Hall on the mound. That gives Dallas Baptist a real leg up on most Fridays and Saturdays against not only teams in the Valley, but pretty much everywhere, anybody that they play. And on the other hand, I would say every school besides Dallas Baptist would probably be rooting for Indiana State this weekend, because if Indiana State wins that series, that brings Dallas Baptist back to the pack a little bit, because they got something going pretty well. And former Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Week, Andy Young, also Caden Moore's having a good year offensively for them. And we talked about Kiefaber, their ace, last week on the podcast. So Indiana State's got plenty going for it. And even if they do win the series against Dallas Baptist, now they have to be taken very seriously. I know it would only be 3 weekends in, but they would kind of jut themselves up the standings and be considered a front runner as well.
And another matchup that we're also looking at too, a team looking also gain that position. Evansville playing some good baseball of late. They will take on Missouri State. The Bears are going to try and right the ship coming off of the last conference series against Wichita State.
Really interesting series there, because Evansville has taken care of business at home in the first 2 weekend series in Evansville, done what they needed to do. And hats off to those 2 freshmen on Saturdays and Sundays, that each of the last 2 weekends you have Brandon Gomer and Alex Wygand, a pair of freshmen that have held up their end of the bargain. And Wygand, on the last 2 final games of the series, has been the winner against Wichita State and this past weekend against Bradley. And Wygand went 6 scoreless innings in clinching that series 2-0. So we've already talked about Evansville offensively, and they've got a bunch of good left-handed hitters, but now they're going to have to depend on not only that, to travel, and these 2 freshmen that we just mentioned, to go into a really big-time hornet's nest in Hammons Field, where the Bears will be upset about the series loss to Wichita State. They'll be trying to get right back into the race. And I know you can't necessarily expect or bank on sweeps, but I know Keith Gutton will be preaching to his guys, hey, we need to sweep Evansville, not only to vault ourselves back up in the standings, but to knock them down a little bit too, because Evansville is sitting pretty good in the league race as well.
I think things are getting competitive as we look forward here in the conference office to the conference tournament. Making preparations already for May 25 through 28 in Terre Haute, Indiana, the Missouri Valley Conference Baseball Championship hosted by Indiana State University. Shane, we appreciate your insight, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much, sir. This has been the Rawlings MVC Baseball First Pitch.